What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T-Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, NIO, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information, stay for the random clips. Before we get into today's content, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed and continue to support the channel by smashing the like button and with your positive comments. It does mean a ton to me. My goal for the first year on YouTube was to reach 100 subscribers, and we're just over halfway through the year and we're currently sitting at 80. You guys are awesome. You know what else is awesome? Well, the momentum in the crypto space right now. Every project I care about is literally taking off. We now have a date for smart contract functionality release on the Cardano network, and that is September 12th. ADA is now up a crazy 53.61% for the week. I suspect we'll revisit the all-time high of $2.46, if not establish a new all-time high literally by that date. Last thing I'll mention quickly is if you're interested in getting more crypto information pretty much as I see it, you can follow me on Twitter at TeviLawson13. All right, let's talk NIO now. Well, they posted their Q2 earning result on Wednesday, April 11th, and as a shareholder, I couldn't be any more pleased with what they reported out. They posted a beat on the top and bottom line. So the question becomes then, why is the stock down almost 4% after the earning call and lost nearly 6.5% for the week? That's what I'll answer in today's video. I'll go over my main takeaways from the call, then get into why I believe we're seeing some sell pressure on the stock, what I'm doing in light of this information. I'll play you a short clip by Dan Ives, who's an analyst at Wedbush, and wrap up with the weekly performance review expressing percentage gain or loss. If you haven't already, drop the video an early like, as it greatly helps the content get pushed out to more people who may also find the information beneficial, and overall, it does help the channel grow. So with that in mind, let's get into it. All right, so the stock closed the week down 6.5% as I mentioned earlier, and this is despite the fact that NIO beat expectation of an earning per share loss of 11 cents by posting a smaller loss of 3 cents. This is actually a quarter-over-quarter improvement as well, as they had posted a loss of 4 cents in Q1 of this year. Some quick stats for you. Vehicle sales came in at 127% year-over-year improvement and a 6.8% improvement over Q1. Total revenue came in at 127.2% year-over-year improvement and a 5.8% improvement over Q1. Gross profit came in at a monster 402.7% year-over-year improvement and a 1.2% improvement over Q1. Deliveries were 21,896 in Q2 for a 111.9% year-over-year improvement and 9.2% improvement over Q1. If that wasn't enough, NIO actually raised their guidance for Q3 deliveries and expected revenue. Delivery guidance is now in the range of 23,000 to 25,000 versus the previous 21 to 22,000. And revenue is now targeted to be at $1.44 billion versus the consensus estimate of $1.38 billion. And to top it all off, they dropped a couple of welcome surprises during the call, confirming some of the rumors or speculations that were floating out there. The first one, management indicated that the company will launch 3 new models in 2022. We knew about the ET7 from the last NIO day. We also had knowledge of one more lower price model expected to compete against the Tesla Model 3. That leaves the mystery third model no one actually expected. And these 3 models will be on a new EV architecture, which will drive higher profitability compared to the first generation platform currently in production. And secondly, NIO will be accelerating its investment and efforts around its NT2 platform. So that's basically their second generation autonomous driving platform. Overall, I will say that this was a strong performance, and with $7.5 billion on their balance sheet in cash and cash equivalents, NIO is in a very, very strong financial position to continue scaling the business and fund the expansion into Europe. That all sounds like they had a great earning call. So why is the stock dropping? Well, first and foremost, NIO investors have really high expectations. NIO, in my mind and the minds of many investors and analysts, is the company most likely to compete on near equal footing with Tesla over time. This is thanks to NIO's high quality, innovative technology, think battery swap, innovative business model, think battery as a service. They're actually growing faster than Tesla, and by my estimates, will post their first profitable quarter this year. That will be 7 years after being founded versus the 10 plus years it took Tesla. So with high expectations, it doesn't take much to impede positive sentiment. A couple of things that stood out to me that may have played a role in prompting the sell-off. Number one, vehicle margin dropped in Q2 to 20.3% versus a 21.2% in Q1. This was attributed to the vehicle mix that they sold. The mix was dictated by the limitation in chip availability. So even though raising guidance is bullish, fundamentally, it does introduce more uncertainty. So the chip situation is improving, but it is not yet resolved. Lastly, the cost of the NT2 platform will be reflected in the coming 2 to 3 quarters. How that affects the bottom line does introduce additional risk. Now, if you put it all together, it's not too surprising that people decided to trim their positions from the previous run-up. It's actually not all that uncommon for NIO stock. If you look at the previous 11 quarters, shares fell 8 times following the quarter financial report. This now would then make 9 out of 12 times. So the question becomes, what did I do? Well, I typically wouldn't trim, but knowing that we would likely see Cardano outperform in the near to medium term, I trimmed my NIO positions by 10% and reallocated that to Cardano in a new midterm positions that I started with Bitcoin mining company Hive Blockchain. Now, this isn't financial advice, and I'm not recommending or suggesting that you do the same, but I do believe in being transparent with you as you follow me on my investment journey. This was a tactical call on my end to help me scale up the portfolio a bit quicker. So still very bullish on NIO, and I will likely buy back my shares before the quarter is over. So then what's next for NIO? Well, NIO has a strong buy consensus and is still viewed very favorably. Based on the 6 Wall Street analysts currently covering the stock, the average price target is $65.17 with a high forecast of $72 and a low forecast of $57. The average price target represents a 58.83% change from the last price of $41.03 that it closed at on Friday. To keep this positive outlook, they need to do a few things. So NIO needs to continue to expand production capacity and scaling their business in China. And they understand this, which is why they secured a contract with JAC earlier in May this year. JAC is their contract manufacturer who has now committed to a yearly capacity of 240,000 vehicles through 2024. They locked in a contract with the Chinese government, and even though we don't know how many sales that will be good for, it does show continued support from the Chinese government, and that is a big plus. Now, let's not forget that NIO has also started manufacturing of their brand new factory, which will become crucially important as demand continues to increase after they enter the European market later this year. We know that Norway is their entry point, but the regulatory license that they received does allow them to sell anywhere in Europe, right? So this was evident by William Li confirming this on the earnings call that they would establish a presence in Germany after Norway. Let me play you this short clip by Dan Ives discussing NIO post-earnings call. Here's his tip rank profile, and you can see that he has a solid track record. Let's take a listen.
Today, 5% of automobiles in China are EV. So this is going to be a massive opportunity. We believe about $1.5 trillion of the $5 trillion that we see in overall EV is coming out of China. For NIO, the key to success is really going to be on the battery technology. I believe they have massive innovations on the horizon. And I think this is one, when we look out over the next year or two, and I think NIO, besides just the stock, I think goes massively higher. I think market share potentially could double. We ultimately view NIO 2 years from now. I believe NIO is in the U.S. in terms of going after that market. And I think today China continues to be the golden goose. But I think what we're seeing with NIO is that they're continuing to just have massive success in China. I believe you'll have more and more success globally across the U.S. and Europe.
So let me say that I 100% agree with Dan on this one. I also predict that NIO will be in the US in 2 years' time. First, they'll prove out that they can be successful in Europe. Once their new factory is complete and operating at high capacity, they'll be able to expand into the US market. Lastly, on why I believe that 2 years makes sense, and this is going to be more of a strategic reason, President Biden and his administration are pro-EV and more likely to provide a favorable environment for NIO to enter a market. So even though I don't think that the EV transition can be stopped at this point, waiting post-2024 election would introduce additional risk and uncertainty that I'm going to guess NIO will try to avoid if at all possible. The beauty of YouTube is this video will be here in a couple of years and we'll see if I was right or if I completely missed the mark. But anyways, let's switch over and talk weekly performance review expressed in percentage gain or loss. And at the highest point this week, I was up by nearly 9%. This was a big week for economic data. The PPI and CPI number came in hot, but they were in line with expectations. Regardless, it did cause some volatility in the market, and my stock portfolio is the poster child for getting hit every time there's talks of tapering or inflation. At the lowest point, I was down by 2.78% before finishing the week in the green with a gain of 1.71%. And that's in big parts thanks to the rising tide brought by the crypto space. The last thing I will leave you with is this. Looking broadly, the three major indices have been hitting record highs after record highs for the past couple of weeks. I would recommend keeping a bit of cash on the sideline for the inevitable pullback. It's always a good policy to buy when the market is down or trading sideways and hold your position when it's shooting up and enjoy the gains at that point. And with that, this will do it for today's video. Hopefully you found the content insightful, and if so, please drop the video a like and share with others, as it greatly helps the channel grow. For my newcomers, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content just like this. As a reminder, I post every Sunday and occasionally during the week. But as always, thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.